Good morning, Google Chicago.
See the connections a little.
My name is David Lieber. I'm with the state and local public policy team here. We're obviously thrilled to have Rahm Emanuel, mayoral candidate for Chicago, here today for a fireside chat with Jim Lecinski, the unofficial mayor of the Chicago office. So this is a continuation of our fireside campaign chats, which is a program we inaugurated in 2008. Today, however, represents the first time that we are doing an event outside of Mountain View, and obviously there's no better place to do that than the city of Chicago. Our guest today, Rahm Emanuel, is a veteran of 2 presidential administrations. He served in the Clinton administration from 1992 to 1998, rising to the position of senior advisor. Also served, as many of you know, as the chief of staff to current President Barack Obama from 2008 to 2010. Before that, he served 3 terms in the U.S. Congress, representing the 5th Congressional District. In 2007, he became the chair of the House Democratic Caucus. And in 2006, he was the chairman of the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee the year that the Democrats took over the House of Representatives. If you look around, you'll notice that there are no media present here today. We did, however, extend an invite to @Mayor Emanuel to live tweet the event. Unfortunately, he's holed up in the igloo with Carl the intern, but he does send his very saucy regrets not being able to make it. But at this time, without further ado, I want to introduce Rahm Emanuel. Let's give him a warm applause.
Thank you. You guys think I have a kidney problem or something like that? What was that? Jeez.
Just in case you're thirsty. Huh?
Yeah. I didn't know I was going to sweat through the interview. Okay.
Good. Well, welcome, Rahm. We're very thrilled to have you here. And we know you've got a very busy day today, including the big Urban League event debate on Fox tonight. So we're happy to be your warm-up act. So, well, let's get started. Speaking of Fox, I don't know if you watched the Super Bowl this weekend, but they had, during the Super Bowl on Fox, everybody here, by the way, was rooting against the Packers, just because that's the Chicago thing to do. But they had promos for a new Fox show on called The Chicago Code in between the game. And it's a fictitious new police commissioner played by Jessica Biels. And in the promo that they played, maybe you guys saw, very dramatically, one of the assistants said to her, "What makes you think you can change the way Chicago works?" Right? Do you remember this spot that ran over and over in the football game? So, you know, you've talked quite a bit about, you know, no bid contract system, pay to play. You know, you're running a great TV spot now talking about actually getting city workers to do city work for us. Right? So I guess in the spirit of that question posed on the Fox promo, we could ask you the same question to get started. What makes you, sir, think you can change the way Chicago works?
Well, first of all, I believe, I don't think it's a novel idea, but that if you're getting a paycheck paid by the taxpayers are the people you're beholden to. I don't think that should be up for debate, but if we'll have that debate, I'm ready. I also want you to know I include the mayor. I include anybody I would appoint. I include the alderman. I include anybody who gets paid by the taxpayer, is that we're going to have the mindset that we're beholden to taxpayers to deliver a service for what they pay for. Now, you should know, my uncle's a former police officer in the city of Chicago. You have a lot of good workers in the city. I visited them during the blizzard out at O'Hare. They moved that, we had one of the worst in a century. How you feeling? Good? Okay. That's the pediatrician son of me asking. I just want to make sure everything's okay. Because you're holding it, I'm getting nervous here, man. That does not go in the doctor's son training here, okay? Let's get to that issue. It's more important than what I'm about. Okay, here's the deal. They did an incredible job during the blizzard. And they do an incredible job in our classrooms in very adverse conditions. They do an incredible job on our streets. And when we need them, for God forbid if something happens at your home for a fire or whatever, they are there. They do an incredible job every day. But we got to also be honest. Over the years, stories about no-show jobs, corruption, people in middle management who've been convicted here going to get another job here even though they're convicted over here. And that has created a basis for a show to talk about, accepted as if it's built into our discussion, the Chicago Code. Now, I want you to know, I think that the mayor, as I did when I was chief of staff, as I did when I was a congressman, or when I was senior advisor to President Clinton, you get paid by the taxpayers. Your perspective, regardless of where your position is, mayor, department head, beat officer, and a lot of them, as I said, already have this position. They already have this perspective. They are there to deliver a service, whether it's protecting, educating, cleaning, so to the public, and a lot of people already have that mindset. There's a number of people that did not. We all know that, and I'm going to change that perspective. You guys talk here at Google about a view. A perspective helps you, kind of is your, it's your modus operandi. I want the modus operandi in Chicago, and a lot of people have it, and they get hurt when other people that work with don't have it. And it's usually at the top, let's be also frank, that we work for the taxpayers. And the taxpayers expect to get a good delivery of service for the dollars that they pay. That should not be open for discussion. But if we'll have that discussion, I stand shoulder to shoulder with the taxpayers.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, let's move on. In advance of your visit, we used a tool that we've built here at Google called Google Moderator. And it's a way to have people submit questions, and then you can put a thumbs up, thumbs down, +1, -1 to raise the important questions to the top and lower the less important questions.
What happens if the thumb is like this?
We've used that with the president and others, and we used it for your visit here today. And not surprisingly, you mentioned it in your comments there, the most popular #1 topic that these folks wanted to hear you talk about was education and the Chicago Public Schools. Can you talk a little bit about your plan for the schools? There was lots of questions. I live in Hyde Park. How do you plan to make sure every child in the city has access to a school as prestigious and high standard with a free education that's as good as the Ray and Bret Hart Elementary School in Hyde Park?
Okay. Well, first of all, while I think all the issues that I talk about, economic development and reforming city government, bringing safety to our streets, and strength to our schools, those are, I think, the building blocks. The point of the spear is, without a doubt, education. Without a doubt. Now, you don't know this, but in a former life, I had a scholarship once to the Joffrey Ballet. Didn't take it. Purposely to make my mother miserable. But my wife, when I met her, we had gotten a master's in art history at the University of Chicago, and I met her when she was working at the Art Institute. You can have a world-class ballet company in a city, and we do. You can have a world-class opera in a city, and we do. But if half your kids aren't graduating from high school, you're not going to be a world-class city much longer. And that's my perspective. And I say that with the utmost passion for the arts and culture. And because not only it's important to your development, but important to the city's development. Now, we have 2 expecting mothers here. No, I'm serious, but here's the deal. One of the most significant things I did as a congressman was I used to do my office hours at grocery stores, and I would just meet people. I didn't want to do town halls, and I wanted to just meet people, regular people, wherever they were in their lives. I was at the Lincoln and Cullum Jewel, and a young man came up, could have been in this room, but he happened to be a lawyer. His wife was in advertising or accounting. He had a 4-year-old. Thursday night, he's running off to the Jewel, and he says, if I don't have a good local school, my wife and I are going to move to the suburbs.
Yep.
He says, I don't want to pay property taxes and then a private tuition. Okay? For those who don't have kids, you'll be facing this one day. For these 2 ladies, they'll be facing this sooner than you, if you're not facing it today. Now, my view is on education. And I say this as a person who's gotten 2 things from his parents, and both are essential. Their love and education. That is why I've been able to achieve what I've been able to achieve in my life. That's really what I view it as. And I view it also as a parent who's very involved in his own kids' education. Now, first, I want to make every school in the city of Chicago, we'd be the first school system in the country where every school will have a 5-year performance contract. So I can evaluate year by year or over a 2-year period whether that principal, who ultimately is the CEO for that school, is on the way to making the improvements in that school. And are they being managed, the teachers as well as the principal, towards those goals we've measured. The successful charters do it. I want the whole school system to do it. Second, beyond the principal is the teacher. Everything I'm investing in is proven over a period of time. It's not the fad of the day in education. Teachers. Now, this is going to take a while, and I want to spend a lot of time on this. This is the number one issue, and this is my number one passion. Second, the teachers. We have very good teachers working in adverse conditions. You should know that. But I want to raise the quality of all the teachers in the schools. And I say that because you can have a small classroom, which is once in the late 90s, the big fad, but if you don't have a quality teacher in a small classroom, you're no closer. So teachers, not size of class, teachers in the class is where I'm at. In my old congressional district, I created the first teaching academy high school. You guys know about the Golden Apple?
Mm-hmm.
AUSL? I want you to, if you don't,
we can search for it.
You can search for it. Hey, don't steal my punchlines, okay? Dude, work on your own punchlines. I was working on my own, okay? We're not going to be doing this much longer if you steal my punchlines, okay? Okay, okay. I've lost my train of thought. No.
Golden Apple.
Got it. I want you to look it up. AUSL program, okay? Golden Apple here in Chicago. Anyway, I created the first high school in the old Wright Community College. It's a master teacher, 2 people in second career getting a master's in education in the classroom, neighborhood school. Those teachers, when they graduate, have a master's degree in education, signed a contract. They will be in the Chicago public school system for 5 years. That's significant because in the first 5 years, every teacher in our public school system, 50% of them quit. Not every, 50% quit. It's different. It's too hard. These teachers, they're trained for urban education. They commit for 5 years minimum. 80% of them stay beyond the 5 years. I want to take us from 7 schools to 15. We'll graduate 2 high schools and 6 elementary schools worth of teachers every year. After 4 years, Chicago will have the largest population of teachers with a master's degree in education. And we will convert the school system, classroom by classroom, school by school.
Can I just interrupt and ask, it would seem that you would need the teachers' union cooperation for such an accountability plan, and they've heretofore not been willing to commit to accountability.
Well, on this thing, I worked it out when I was running for Congress. They support this actual program. Mm-hmm. Eventually, I want to take it up to 20. But the first year, I'll do 15. Now, here's how I'll pay for it. Everything I've announced, I've paid for. We spend $100 million a year at CPS, Chicago Public Schools, on teacher training. For $10 million, I get these 8 schools. And the reason I'm not only for it because I get 10 out of that for these 8 schools. I'm training teachers who stay longer in our schools. Why do I have to train somebody who moves to the suburbs? I'm getting a better bang for our buck using the same money. You can see I get emotional about that. Lastly, parents. You cannot educate kids without parents being involved in their education. The front door to that house or that apartment is more significant to a child's education than the school. And then when the 2 of them are working, they'll be taking your job. That is. And they'll be taking my job, and they'll be taking your job. A good parent or parents involved in a kid's education with a good school, that kid is unstoppable. It's been proven. That's why I said I don't get in fads. What are the 3 things you got to have? Principals that want to be accountable, quality teachers in a room, and parents who are involved. Now, this is why I love this job. I'm going to tell you this story. I told you I used to do grocery stores. And I've met probably a number of you at L stops. Okay? And I'm going to continue as mayor doing something retail-ish as a way to always make sure I'm in touch with folks and they're in touch with their mayor. I was at 79th and Dan Ryan about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And I say hello to all these high school kids, regardless. Not that they're voters, but one day they may be. No. And this kid, Jeremy, walks, I don't know he's Jeremy, shake hands. He goes past me. He comes back, I don't know, about 30 seconds later or whatever, and says, can I show you something? Then any kind of kid shows initiative like that, you want to be obviously responsive. I'd be that responsive for an adult, but especially for a high school kid. And he gets his backpack off and is pulling out a piece of paper. And I said, what's this about? And he says, I started an after-school program at my school. 16. I said, really? He goes, what does it do? He goes, photography. And he also, in respect to this kid, he lives up near Loyola, takes the train all the way down 79th and gets on a bus and goes over to Simeon, hour and 20 transportation. So next time you're really upset about something, put Jeremy in your head for a second. He's a high schooler kid, and there's thousands of them out there. So as I said, really, you run this? He goes, yeah, I develop it with a friend, and I administer it with my assistant principal. He started his own after-school program. And I said, well, what's this form for? Now, I'm big into parent contracts as a way to kind of induce responsibility. I've announced it when I announced my education policy. He says, I don't let a kid into my after-school program whose parent does not sign this. And I said, well, what does it make them do? Pick up the report card, attend parent-teacher conferences, and review their homework with them. I've announced a comprehensive after-school program for the city. We're adopting Jeremy's contract when I'm mayor. And it's not for emotion, although there is that. And I do want people to know that if they have an idea, the mayor or the city government will respond. I do think that's in the same way that I did for the young man at the Jewel, helped get Coonley that was on the closed list to now a gifted program that's busting at the seams. I introduced an elder justice bill because some lady told me how her father got beat up at a nursing home and President Obama signed it. These aren't going to solve Newtonian physics or macroeconomics, but people give you stories. In some way you can make their lives a tad easier or solve a problem for others. But Jeremy came up with an idea that figured out, in my view, something that President Clinton taught me very importantly. With opportunity, after-school program, comes responsibility and accountability. And what was the other piece of it? And at 16, Jeremy had figured this out. And I just want you to know, get used to it, because Jeremy's going to be head of the building department when I'm done.
There you
This
go.
kid, you'd bet long on him. He travels an hour and 20 minutes by himself twice a day. He developed an after-school program and knew that he had something special kids wanted, or their parents wanted for their kids. And he knew that the best way to deduce it was to require something of the parents that wasn't happening. I really do. I mean this in the most fundamental way. So my package on education is based on investing in principals, raising the quality of the teachers, who already are good, a number of them are good, and then making parents get off the sidelines and involved in their kids' education. Now, to your question on the teachers union, they are representing their members. They have, in all fairness, been big advocates on parental involvement. No person running for office has tried what I'm about to go try on parental involvement. I'm going to be a partner with them, because a lot of our teachers, good teachers, work in really tough situations. You give them a partner in the home, they'll be better teachers, because they finally got somebody helping out with them. Okay? There are places I will disagree with the leadership. I'm a big supporter of charters, not because I think charters are the end-all and be-all. There are bad charters and there are good charters, and you got to be as tough on the bad charters as you are on neighborhood schools that aren't achieving their goal. But I'm also for neighborhood schools that are achieving the goal. I'm for all of the above. A lot of people who support charters think they're the end. No, they're a means towards an end. They're not the end. And so on that topic, I will disagree. But I'll disagree from a perspective of also data. If you take the self-selective high schools, like, not limited to, Peyton, Whitney Young, Northside out, not limited to those, all the self-selectors out. The 7 best performing high schools in our city are charters. There are also charters that aren't doing their job. But I do believe in competition, I do believe in choice. And charters are a way to give parents choice in a public school system, and I'm committed to public education.
And we have a principle here at Google called Data Beats Opinion. So, you know,
Well, don't be so
there's the
committed to
data.
that.
Data beats itself.
I used to say about people in Washington,
Yeah.
they're firm in their opinion. It's their principles they're flexible on.
Yeah. There you go. You referenced Newtonian physics, and we actually had some questions around that.
Well, I better call my older brother, who's the smart one in the family.
Seriously, though, one particular aspect of education that's very important to us is the so-called STEM curriculum, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, because that's what we do here, and we need people coming out of the school systems especially proficient in those areas. So you've outlined sort of the overall comprehensive education vision. Is there anything specific, thoughts that you can share regarding those STEM-type curriculum that matter to the future of companies like Google in Chicago?
Well, let's also, it's not just matters of the future of Google, it matters the future of the country.
Yeah.
While you happen to get swept into it, no disrespect, I'm more interested in the country than I am in Google. And I say that to you.
Sure.
I wish you all the well, especially these two ladies.
And we're out of time. Please go ahead.
I'll stay later. You go ahead. I'm having fun, actually, and we'll handle this without you. We've just actually figured out a way to take you out of this whole equation, man. Here's the deal. State of Illinois has adopted the common standards. 39, I think, or 41 other states have adopted it. But you have to have a new curriculum to teach to the common standards. I've already talked to a number of foundations around the country. And Chicago will be the first city to develop the new curriculum to teach those common standards. And those common standards aren't for tests, but they're for graduation and career development and college education. And that's the way I'm going to get to it. Now, let's be honest, so I don't want anybody, by the time that kid's ready to go to school, we'll have it done in the first 4 years. So Chicago will be the first city in the country to adopt the new curriculum that goes with the common standards. Mm-hmm. We also need, part of this whole reason I'm into my AUSL program, is these teachers are trained not just to get a master's in education, but specialty for the type of education you're looking at.
Yep. Great. Next most popular topic area was around taxes. There's been a lot of, I guess, kerfuffle is the word over the past week of this tax plan and that tax plan and disinformation and counterinformation. Can you just clear the air?
We got you right where we got you.
In plain English, what's your tax plan?
Oh, with that burden? Plain English? Okay, here it is. I believe that we deserve a 20% tax cut in the sales tax. City of Chicago has one of the highest sales tax in the country. Now, I proposed 3 separate tax cuts. The other 2, elimination of the head tax, which is you want to add employees, would help you. I also proposed a tax reform in the utility natural gas tax. So right now it's structured as the price goes up, you pay more. I want it to be on a per unit basis, so your usage is what drives it, which makes you more energy conservation, and it saves the consumer money. Now in the sales tax, I propose a 20% reduction. We tax only a few items. So a single mother who's trying to buy school supplies is bearing that burden. Now I'm going to say it right here to you, so just get ready. You charter a private jet, you're not paying anything now. I don't want that single mother to bear that burden alone. A lot of your clients rent limos coming in from the airport. They don't pay anything right now. I'm going to extend it there. I'm telling you this up front. I do not think a single mother should be bearing this burden alone. She's trying to raise kids. She's trying to get them to school. She deserves a tax cut. She's working. Now, my whole life was about tax fairness. That's why I got on the Ways and Means as a member of the House in Congress. And working for President Clinton, President Obama, I doubled the earned income tax credit. And not only doubled it and fought Republicans' attempts to fight it, in my office, we used to, with the tax assistance program, would fill out tax forms for working poor. Because I fundamentally, in the marrow of my bones, believe if you're working, your kid does not deserve to grow up in poverty. So I not only passed that legislation, protected it, I helped people in my district get $2 million worth of tax cuts. They would get $3,200, $2,800, $1,800 back. And for a single mother or a family, that's Christmas and the entire year's worth of savings. And not only that, you couple it with a children's health care bill that made sure that they're, usually those single mothers or young, poor, working poor families didn't have health care at the place of employment. I made sure that their kids got health care. I made sure that the minimum wage, I said in Congress, I led the effort, there will be no pay raise in Congress until we raise the minimum wage. Now, I got to tell you something. My grandfather was a union man. He used to sing a song to us. Which side are you on? I'm going to stand with that single mother. I got no problem with it. And if you rent a corporate jet and you're coming to Chicago, we're going to make that single mother make sure she can get that from paycheck to paycheck just a little more. You rent a limo, you're going to carry some of that burden so she gets a tax cut. You want to join Saddle and Cycle, private exclusive club? I don't have a problem with any of these activities. But the reason we have one of the highest sales taxes in the country is working people are bearing the burden alone. And folks, that ain't right. And also, it won't solve Newtonian physics, but people in this city are getting nickeled and dimed by taxes all the time. And the reason, one of the reasons is because we got this thing turned upside down. We're putting too few people paying on too few items when a lot of other people are getting a break. And if working for President Obama, President Clinton, and working for the people of 5th District taught me that on taxes, we have to be fair, we have to be equitable. And it is wrong that a single mother is now paying a bigger share of their taxes than people renting corporate jets, limousines, or joining private clubs. And I'm telling this to you, or some of your people that are coming in here, that will change for them. But that is a bare sense of both fairness and it's good economics, because if we can lower the rate, Chicago will be a better city. Fortune just rated one of the reasons Chicago was difficult to live in for the sales tax.
Yeah.
Let's get a cut.
So when you frame that issue as the single mom versus the private corporate jet, it's very compelling. The counter-argument has been, though, that the economic health of the city depends on small businesses. And the individual masseuse, trying to work, earn a living, start a small business, the gym, those people will actually be bearing the burden, not the corporate jets.
First of all,
so how do you respond to that?
Two things. Civic Federation has endorsed what I said. The Chicago Sun-Times has endorsed my proposal. The Chicago retail merchants representing the small businesses have endorsed my proposal. All have said that because small businesses is the engine and making sure. The other thing is, I said we'll have to work out the details with Springfield. That's where this is decided. And I will accept nothing that violates the principle of a tax cut for working families. That's number one. Number two, in a similar format, in a debate at WTTW with a bunch of high school students, the reason this became an issue, a high school student asked me and one of my opponents that the sales taxes were too high. A specific question by a 16-year-old. And I said I supported getting a cut in the sales tax. One of my opponents said he agreed with me. 2 weeks before an election, all of a sudden he disagrees. I don't think that's really fair to the 16-year-old who you told eye to eye you agreed on something. Now the retail merchants who represent the small businesses in Chicago that drive the economy support this idea.
Okay. We had some other fiscal questions. One was around privatization. So the question says, we sold off the Skyway Bridge, then the parking meters. Now there's talk of privatizing the Taste of Chicago and other festivals. These kinds of fiscal initiatives are generally or universally unliked by Chicagoans. What do you think here?
Well, two things. One, I'm against privatization. It's run it. Folks aren't for it. I don't think the capital markets are for it. You can't do it. I will say, usually we're a city known that divides over education, crime. I give the mayor credit for bringing the city together. People all across the city hate the parking deal.
I let you have that punchline.
That's right. Boy, I didn't know Christmas was coming early. So, you know, that has made, folks are against it, and I'm against it. Here's the other thing, though. We have to figure out how to monetize certain assets. That doesn't mean selling them or getting rid of them. I'm against that. I said that clearly, unambiguously. But a way to get some value out of them so we can invest in what I think is a key priority. One of the things I want to get to, you haven't asked, so I'm just going to go there. I am big into our investment in our mass transit system. Okay? No other city outside of New York has more people use their mass transit to get to and from work. In Fortune study, not Fortune, a study done by, I forgot who, that's bad, but people in Chicago have rated both our nightlife, our restaurants, our culture, and our mass transit systems, the quality of life and what they love about the city. When I first got to Congress, got the funding to expand the Brown Line. It used to be 6 cars, it's now 8 cars, Brown Line, modern stations. It makes getting to and from work, the whole experience, much better, quicker. We have to invest in our mass transit system. There are other infrastructure needs. I'm telling you before the election what numero uno is for me. You need to know that. And of the people that take the mass transit, the red line is used by 40% of them. And it's been least invested in. Now, there's differences on the north side and the south side, but we got to modernize it. So the same type of stations, the same type of capacity. On the south side, it's got to be taken from 95th to 130th. You can't ask people to participate in an economy if they can't get there. It artificially stops at 95th. People live all the way to 130th. How do you get to work? I know, I see a number of you on bicycles. That's how I know you get to work, okay? Which is my second point. I've announced a plan to, we do 8 miles a year. I'm going to do 25 miles a year of new bike lanes in the city. I want it to become a major, for folks who want to do it, means of getting to and from work, not just dodging in and out of traffic. And we're going to make dedicated lanes that are safe. I'm going to add 25 miles, so by the end of my term, if I'm elected, 100 miles of new bike lanes in the city. I'm also going to look to change the ordinance so buildings like this will give people the space and the capacity to both park their bikes securely and be able to change and get to work if they bike to work. Because I will say this, not just for the Googles, but actually for the new Googles of the world, that's going to be a big piece of economic development because it's going to attract a workforce that sees a city that allows them to get to and from work and the quality of life that they want. The bulk will use mass transit. That's what I did when I was both a congressman and worked in the private sector. You know, there's no doubt that my kids, when they grow up, will probably bike. Their mother will yell at them to wear a helmet. Okay, but I want that, that's 2 pieces. I want that investment strategy. I think it's key to who we're going to be as a city. And it's one of our advantages compared to other cities when companies are looking at that you can get to and from work with relative convenience is a big selling point, besides your education and your caliber as employees.
And as you may know, these Googlers in this room were responsible for getting...
I've never heard that. Are you guys actually called Googlers?
Googlers, yeah.
God, I'm empathetic to you, man.
But these folks were responsible for getting the city's existing bike lane routes up and findable on Google Maps. So it's not just maps of mass transit or maps of roads or cars. It's for bike lanes.
I'm just pointing my policy guy.
Yeah, and Chicago, by the way, was the very first major city to have its bike maps on Google Maps. So we look forward to partnering with you.
Get ready because we're at 25 a year, man.
There you go. So you mentioned Google
Googlers?
and the... Googlers?
I'm going to try to throw a line tonight at a debate for you, man.
All right.
Googlers? That's really... There's a line there, but it's being videoed. I'm not touching it.
All right. Then we'll move on.
Okay.
So you mentioned for the Googles...
It's the first time we've ever had a 7-second delay on the Google video.
There you go. You mentioned for the Googles of the world and the future Googles. One of your recent policy talks, you cited Groupon, BrightTag, Threadless, Google. We thank you for that as examples, sort of leaders in Chicago's tech community, coming from different perspectives and whatnot. What's your plan to attract companies like these? You've talked about a biomedical campus at Michael Reese. How do you see the tech community playing in your plans?
Well, let's be clear on a couple things. One is I do actually think what I talked about, transportation is a key piece.
Yep.
I announced in my speech that we're going to build a campus-like situation that Google used out in California. I want to do that here. I want to work with some of the high-tech startup companies about that type of space. But as you mentioned as we were walking through here, one of the reasons you obviously provide food as a company, but if you guys can solve a problem here, it's more efficient that way. I want that sense of innovation, creativity. where then two young people are talking and it maybe become a company of the future. We don't know, but that campus-like environment environmentally is clearly key, not just culturally, but economically. But young startups that are doing web-type companies are different than people that are going to be doing pharmaceutical and new healthcare companies. The University of Chicago is investing in a new bioengineering center, which is unbelievably important for the city and for the country. I want to create a campus that allows new healthcare companies to feed off that. But that's a different culture, let's be clear, than the people that would be in the startup companies. It's a total different kind of mindset, lifestyle, instincts. Not a lot of them will be riding bikes to work. But that we have to kind of do that. We are a home to 13 separate wind companies, fitting for the Windy City.
But that's probably not widely known.
13, actually more than any other city in the country. Chicago. Wind, I'm sorry. I know it's hard for the Googlers to hear, okay? That is such a, I'm going to go for the whole week off that one, Matt. Those are some of the things. The other thing, and I mentioned this to you, is, so maybe that was a slow pitch off the center for me, is we are going to have, if I'm mayor, I'm going to pick a kind of a long weekend, a Thursday through Sunday, music, food, etc. But a weekend where we recruit the juniors and seniors from around the 10-state area and also Illinois in the math and science and engineering departments to come see Chicago. I'm going to get all the companies, the Googles and the Googlers, to the pharmaceutical companies, to other tech companies, to the startup companies, to the established, to the financial companies. But I want these people, not just from Purdue and the University of Illinois, but I'm including Northern Illinois, I'm including the schools here, I'm including our community colleges, but I'm going to go to Lansing. I'm going to Madison. I'm going to go to Des Moines. I'm going to go down to St. Louis. And I'm going to recruit those juniors and seniors, and I said, I'm going to sell Chicago. And you are going to be a partner in selling it. You'll probably be staying at an apartment near you, in your apartment. Not you, because you'll have a kid. I wouldn't let them near that. Okay, but I'm serious about that. But I really want, here's the deal. When I first helped Mayor Daley get elected, you had to just run the city. You still got to do that. Which just gets to the first question we talked about, delivering services to the taxpayers. But today you're an ambassador to the world at large about your city. That's a new part of the job. It's developed over the last 10 years. San Antonio is a competitor, so is Shanghai. Louisville's a competitor, so is London. I want to sell Chicago and our quality of life, our companies, our structures. So as you told me, you're trying to hire 100, 200 people. I want to make sure that there's 5 applicants for those openings of quality. I did mention Groupon. They hire 180 a week, 400 a month, 5 applicants per opening. And they've told me, Eric's told me, they got people, every one of those 5 are capable of hiring, taking that position, and they have tough choices. I'm hoping that's true for you. I did talk to another company, Deloitte Touche. They're going to hire 500. They are actually finding it difficult to find the full talent. That's a high-class problem we should solve. Now, I also got to be clear to you. I want people throughout the city to participate in that. That just can't be an opportunity for part of the city. We got to be frank and honest with ourselves in this room. Right now, Google, Groupon, it's great, it's promising, I'm happy. I want you to grow. I want you to grow in Chicago. I want Chicago to be a bigger presence for Google than it is today. But I want everybody who's growing in all parts of this city to have an opportunity to see Google in their future. And we got to be frank and honest with ourselves. That's just not true. And that's not the city we want either. So I want you to make Google on Google, and all you Googlers feel at home in Chicago. I want you to grow. I want you to prosper. But I want everybody. I want Jeremy, who's going to Simeon on the west side. I want him to think Google's in his future.
Will we be?
And this one I don't want you to interrupt for a second, and I love you. Not that much to let you interrupt. Part of being mayor And part of being a chief executive and given the level of our difficulties as a city and our challenges is leveling with people. And part of running for mayor is you get big experiences that are wider than what you normally do. I don't mean to pick on Jeremy, but you got to be honest, you know that in large parts of our city, Google's not part of people's worldviews of what they think they can be part of. And I want that. We're known as a city that builds big things. Big airports, big mass transits, Millennium Park. Those are good things to be known for. The biggest thing we can build is the vision of our children. And I want Google to be part of that vision. You got something you want to add?
We'd be pleased and proud to be part of that
Good.
with
That's what the kind of corporation I want to be part of the city, and all the rest of the Googlers. I just had to work that in one more time.
We'll take some live questions, but line up at the mics, guys. Go ahead.
How do you guys call live questions? Is there a special word for that too?
Well, as opposed to dead questions.
Okay.
But let's do a quick speed round.
This is unfair to my former colleague. Never mind. I won't do that.
Let's do a quick speed round while the Googlers are lining up. Fast lightning round. Another Olympic bid, yes or no?
I'm fine with it, but I'm not going to become a one-trick pony on economic development. That is, I'm for it, but I'm not going to pin the entire city's future economically on a one-trick pony, because I don't believe in letting people. And that's just the simple answer: yes, but it's not the ticket to our economic future alone.
Cubs or Sox?
Cubs. It used to, but I will go. No, Cubs. But I'm going to go down to Comiskey Park and watch the game.
Last YouTube video you watched?
All right. Okay, I'm going to tell this story. We get to see this video before it goes out, right? No. This is a true story. Now, you got to understand, I'm running for office. Okay, I got a lot on my plate, guys. I don't remember. It's earlier than the summer. Have you ever seen the video? You'll understand this why I'm taking time building up the confidence to tell this story. Have you ever seen the video of our soldiers in Afghanistan done to Lady Gaga?
Yeah.
Okay, the telephone?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to protect the innocence of one of my children. Early, before this thing really went viral, one of my kids said, "Dad, have you seen this? This is the parts of parenting you're going to just love." I'm serious about this. I said, "No." So, that's a sign for Googling. So we look it up. We do find it. And I watch this video. If you haven't seen it, you can look it up. Afghanistan, soldiers, Lady Gaga, telephone. So I watched this video. I'm laughing, hysterical, also admirable as a former dancer. Their quality. They got their lines and sense of music unbelievably well. So I forgot. Well, anyway, it was like within the first week it came out. So Monday, it's in the week. So the next day, the President often has, once a week, he has a meeting with Secretary Gates of Defense and head of the Joint Chiefs, Mike Mullen. So as we're waiting to go into the Oval, I said to Secretary Gates, I said, "Have you seen this video on Afghanistan?" I called Lady Gaga, the telephone. Now, you can imagine Gates and Mullen. I mean, if it ain't in my worldview, and I'm just a notch cooler, not much, okay? It ain't in their worldview. So I said, "Don't worry about repealing Don't Ask, Don't Tell. The soldiers in Kandahar already did it for you." So they went and watched it, and Gates called, and Mullen and Gates individually called, Secretary Gates, and head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Mike Mullen, called back and says, "Oh my God." And they were it became a good laugh for us. Yeah. So that was the last time I could say, that's a long story. Great. I thought it was a lot more serious work got done in the White House. But I will tell you, that was the last time I really could say I saw a good video, and I said, "Secretary, I'm just telling you. Yeah. The troops are ahead of you, man. Get with it. As I always know, you want to lead your troops. Get in front, man. That is some good dancers who understand music."
There you go.
And have some people seen this video?
Sure.
Okay, it's a great video.
Good. All right. With that, go ahead.
Hey, my
Your
name
question's
is-
going to look so small now compared to that great story.
I don't know. That actually kind of segues into my question. My name is Brian Benedict, and I head up the Gaglers, which is another name for you. It's LGBT Googlers here within the office.
I got that part.
There we go.
Okay?
Google has been...
I'll refer to you as Mr. Gagler.
That works.
Okay? And every one of you behind are Mr. and Mrs. Googler. Okay.
So my question is, well, Google has been great. They pay for the taxes for same-sex marriages in regards to health benefits and whatnot, and we've recently approved civil unions. So I kind of want to get your perspective on the LGBT community and same-sex marriages, basically.
Thumbs up. For it. Big time for it.
All right. Well, that was easy.
Okay, here's the deal. No, go right back to the microphone 1 second. Here's the deal. First, when I was a congressman, I had secured the funding for the Hallstreet Street Center. At that point, it was the largest federal support ever given to a gay or lesbian organization in the country. And it's an incredibly great community center for the gay and lesbian community in our city, throughout the city, not just people in Boys Town or Andersonville. That's key to remember, because they are our teachers, they're our fellow colleagues, and they live throughout the city, not just in part of the city. Two, I cannot be happier that I was chief of staff when we finally passed, and President Obama signed into law, the hate crimes bill, and ran the process to get that done in the name of Matthew Shepard. And then three, this is about, part of life is also being able to learn. Okay, I was once in my life in a hospital for 7 weeks, nearly died. Family came and visited, etc. David Buell, who's a dear friend of mine and Amy and our kids, traveled together, vacation together, and Tom, his partner. They happen to be in D.C. David has been the treasurer of my campaign for Congress. He's the treasurer now for me running for mayor, David and Tom. David told me about a story, and I've been around healthcare. My dad's a pediatrician, my mother's a nurse, my brother's an oncologist. Told me about a woman in Florida, been written up in the gay papers down there, who was kicked out of the room of a hospital because her partner was dying but was not a family member. Now, okay, I just got me, again, I want to level it. That's not in my worldview. It wasn't in my world experience. In the same way that dealing with the issue of food deserts, and we haven't discussed it, wasn't in my worldview. And I looked into it, and I went to the president and I said, you know, this is wrong. And with his direction, worked through both the White House Council, Health and Human Services, the Justice Department under Eric Holder, and the President, we developed after 6 months an executive order. If any hospital is receiving any federal money, they can no longer ban loved ones who are partners from being by the bedside of their loved ones. And while part of civil union and marriage is all about let's get real here. It's all about it's about love, but it's also about what we all in this room who are straight take for granted, and making sure that that's available for gay couples, visiting a hospital, sharing health care benefits, getting a retirement, and sharing things that if you are gay are accepted, or rather if you are straight that are accepted, that you have to struggle to get to a level playing field if you're gay or lesbian. And that is not true today. Now it is, now that we have civil union, it is because we had a president that had the courage on hate crimes, had signed an executive order, and repealed Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and a governor and state legislature who passed civil unions here. It levels the playing field of equity, fairness, and full citizenship.
Thank you.
Thank you for asking.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Google. Her. I am going to take this all the way through the weekend, I've decided. Go ahead.
Hello. So I don't have a problem saying that the Hyde Park question is my question.
Right.
I live in Hyde Park. We live about 2 blocks from the Ray Elementary School. So when my baby was in my belly like hers is, I wasn't thinking about this. But now my daughter is 4, and kindergarten is the next step, and we're looking around. So I understand the suggestion of your plan to have it so that the schools, the teachers in the schools are well, and they come home and the parents interact with the students well. That's great. However, what if it seems like those schools that are doing really great are miraculously somehow outside of your district? You either have to move into the district, and if it's a small, I mean, you know about Hyde Park, you can barely move your elbow before you're touching somebody next to you. So if you've got a really tight residency in that district, then you need to go to the school in your district. But what if that school is not up to par with the standards you like for your own child?
Well, that's why I want to have these 5-year performance contracts, so I can start improving. B, what I haven't mentioned, 2 other things. I am a firm believer, having worked with President Obama and Arnie Duncan, I'm a firm believer in the race to the top as a model to spur innovation. We're going to create a race to the top just for Chicago, so I can spur local school innovation that improves teacher quality, improves test scores, improves parental participation. I'm going to invest in the things that I know produce success. Third, I want to be the first city to adopt the parent trigger. Okay, California did it. Parent trigger, your school's rated, I pick 3 years, but we can do 2 years. 3 years in a row is failing. I'm going to give the parents 6 months. You get 51% of the parents that sign a petition. I'm shutting the schools down, and I'm working with the parents on what they want and replace. That's how I'm going to do this. Okay, I'm not, now, up front, year 1, I ain't turning the whole thing around. It's a big institution of a lot of years. I got to build, which is why I want to invest in the fundamentals to move this thing to a place that every neighborhood school and the schools where you want to go have the capacity. The only way I know how to do that, spend the money smart, invest in the things that have proven over history and after study to work. Parents, teachers, and principals.
Thank you.
Thank you, and thanks for asking. And you, trust me, both of you, this is going to be your concern in no time. Yeah.
Let's take the last two
Coming to a
questions quickly.
theater near you. Go ahead.
Hello, my name is Dasha, and as a dancer myself, I think you may have won me over with your comment about Jeffrey.
What kind of dance did you do?
I still do. I was a dance major in college, and I currently dance the Chicago Bulls. So kind of just a background of like ballet and a lot, and
Jazz?
basically all types of dance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Welcome to our conversation on dance, guys.
Well, my question is about the Sweet Home Chicago campaign proposal to possibly set aside 20% of all TIF funds to affordable housing. And I just wanted to know your take on that and, what your thoughts were on that.
One is, look, we have to deal with affordable housing. Second, we have to reform TIFs. So before I put more mandates on TIFs, I got a lot of reforms we got to make. TIFs are the fastest growing part of the city's budget, and they're not in the city's budget. Get them in the budget. 2, bring full transparency to them. 3, even after 20 plus years, or 30 years of TIFs being around, we still don't have a standard. Does this TIF reaching its economic development goals, its job goals? Develop that standard so we can measure the progress of a TIF. Third, in some communities, economic development is going to be affordable housing. In other communities, it's going to be the retail type of commercial work. Mandating something before I've made all the necessary reforms to a TIF process would be a mistake, in my view. In addition to that, TIFs are for blighted economic communities that are struggling. We have to shut down a number of the TIFs that are in high rent areas right now. There's $950 million of unused TIF funds. Some of them have lived past their value. And if I shut them down because they're no longer there and they have surplus, guess what? Who wins? The schools win, because the money goes from there back into the property taxes to pay for schools. So I'm okay with some of it being used for affordable housing, but not until I get the whole TIF process and the TIF system reformed. And also, if I mandate a new mandate, what happens to the ones that are doing really well or making progress on economic development, merely on the commercial side? So that's why, let's reform the TIFs, let's get them on the budget, let's bring a level of transparency, let's set up a standard for economic progress to measure before we offer a new mandate. And some are already doing that, and that doesn't mean that TIFs are the only way to achieve our goals on affordable housing. Okay?
All right.
And we are going to talk dance later.
All right.
Do you want to do?
Shall we take the final question
Listen,
here?
final. I'm okay on time.
Final question.
Final question. Last
Hi.
round.
Okay, no pressure. So my name is Tiffany, and I was born and raised in Chicago, upon the west side in the Austin area, North Lawndale, and I currently live in Humboldt Park. And I really wanted to ask you what your plan is for what can only be called an epidemic of violence in our city, particularly in the poor neighborhoods, and what your plan is for in your first 100 days as mayor and long-term as mayor to really curb an epidemic of violence. Because
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was overseas and I,
I thought
had
you
people
said.
asking me
I
about...
thought you said what was my plan for the 100 days across the board of issues.
No,
I was like, okay, all right. Well, that is a good question. First of all, I want to just before I get to crime, can I say something about North Lawndale? Where I gave my education speech was at Bethune School in North Lawndale. It is now one of these teaching academies I told you about. The principal there, Ms. Hightower, is co-chair of my campaign. In 1 year, they've raised their reading scores 20%. Same kids from the neighborhood, same building, different principal, different teachers, scores are up. All graduates of this teaching academy model. Now, what I'm very impressed also, one of the things I want to get to, I can't do it overnight again. There's Bethune, there's Johnson, and there's a Collins High School not too far, and they're all part of this. I want to create those campuses where a family knows from kindergarten to high school they got an excellent program. I do not want to see these parents on 9th grade going into a cliff. I'm going to get to crime, but I want you to know in your old neighborhood in North Lawndale, there's a beacon of hope, and it's got a heartbeat and it's beating bright. 2, crime. For President Clinton, I was his point person on crime in the White House. We passed the assault weapon ban, the Brady Bill, which is a 5-day waiting period for handguns, the 100,000 community police officers program, the Violence Against Women Act, Megan's Law. Sexual predator moves into a neighborhood out of prison, the community is notified. And when I was a congressman, Elder Justice Act, which I told you came from a lady at a grocery store telling me about it, which is the first time in 5 years. First time that the federal law recognized crimes against seniors, be they financial or physical. I've outlined a very specific plan based on the '94 crime bill. 1,000 additional police on the street and getting kids and guns off the street. It has to be comprehensive. The police doing community policing, backing up the beat officers of the backbone of the police department. The after-school program, I already told you about Jeremy. 2/3 of all juvenile crime, the hours are 3 to 6. School's out, mom and dad aren't home. Get these kids in an adult supervised activity so they're not victims of crime. And then 3rd, prosecution of our gun laws. Would I like more gun laws? I'm going to fight for it. Do I think if we're not getting new gun laws after what happened in Tucson, Arizona, I'm not pinning my hopes on either Springfield or Washington waking up. Now our state's attorneys, you can see in the news, it's got cuts coming. They prosecute our gun crimes. That's why I've called for the U.S. attorney to start supporting what we're doing on prosecuting gun crimes. I don't see them laying off any lawyers. So, more cops on the beat, kids, guns, and drugs off the street. That's the strategy. You added 1,000 additional officers through the reforms and everything I just told you on my website. I know you know how to Google. And go there, and you can find exactly how I pay for it and how I accomplish it. And I'm also going to, as we end where we started, I want to change the philosophy. And that philosophy in the police department is that the bureaucracy is not the backbone, the beat officer is the backbone. Everything we do is to back up that beat officer. I can't thank you enough, and I look around here, and I see the promise of Chicago. I will come back as mayor if I'm elected and do this, and I expect another 100 people hired by Google, if not 200.
Absolutely.
Thank
you. Thank you. We have a bike shirt for you. This is our Google Chicago
I got
logo.
that.
There you are.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very all.
much.